And this is an interesting question. If you were a hashtag, what would it be?
That's a tough question. I think it's about hashtag managing expectations.
From Ranjay's couch in Charlotte, North Carolina to your couch, somewhere in the world, this is the weekly Midday with Ranjay, the afternoon show, with your host, Ranjay Sarna.
Good afternoon. Hello, welcome, and namaste to yet another episode of Midday with Ranjay. My guest for this afternoon is Mr. Christopher Beckage. Chris serves as the Senior Vice President of Business Development, North America for Akara Solution. In his role, Chris oversees all retail sales and business development expansion efforts. He works with decision makers to provide workforce alignment solutions that allow companies to maximize productivity at the best available cost. Chris' strategic mindset and industry expertise allow him to serve as a trusted subject matter expert in advising customers on talent acquisition and retention strategies, market trends, and best practices. During his career at Akara, Chris has quickly climbed the ranks from his role as a recruiter to his current position as Senior Vice President. He received his bachelor degree in business administration from the University at Buffalo and later graduated from the school's prestigious executive MBA program. Chris has established a strong presence in the Buffalo business community. He currently serves as the board of director of Invest Buffalo Niagara, a nonprofit organization focused on the economic development of the greater Western New York area. In addition, Chris is also a leader of the Be in Buffalo initiative, a collaborative effort that looks to attract skilled workers and other talent to the Buffalo Niagara region. On the personal front, Chris is married to Jennifer, who has her own legal company named Beckage Law Firm and has 4 kids ranging from 5 years to 17 years. So without further ado, let's welcome my friend, my mentor, and my boss, Mr. Christopher Beckage. Let me bring him in. Chris, good afternoon. How has your day been so far?
My day is going well, thank you.
Awesome. I'm so thrilled and excited to welcome you here to yet another episode of Midday with Ranjay. Thank you so much for accepting my invitation, Chris.
You're welcome.
Now, Chris, I was reading your introduction, and one thing that caught my attention, an impressive profile, was 22 years back, you started as a recruiter with Superior Group at that point in time, and you grew up the rank, and now you are heading the sales and business development for North America for Akara Solution. What a transition. And I'm sure people all over the globe who are watching this would like to understand from you. And that segues me to my next segment, which is how I got where I'm at. Now, the whole idea of this webinar is to understand the person behind the professional that they are. And it would be great to understand, how did you start your journey and how has your journey been so far?
Sure. No, that's a great question, Ranjay. Thanks for asking. Let me take you back to when I was in college. I went to the University of Buffalo and was focused on business, which is, I knew something I wanted to do, but as most in college, you don't know where your path's going to necessarily take you. So I had concentrations in human resources, marketing, IT, and other areas. When I graduated, I got into a traditional HR role and realized after about 4 months that that's not where my passion was. And I happened to apply for a job at Superior Group at the time, and they asked me, would you consider being a recruiter? When I learned more about recruiting, I realized it fit my background well, which is very competitive. I like to engage with people. I enjoy working with people, and I like solving business challenges. So that got me into recruiting in the mid to late 90s, which, if you go back in that time, you had the Y2K issue and the dot-com boom, which really made recruiting a lot of fun. Got to meet a lot of people. I got to learn a lot. And that segued me into asking our CEO if I can get into the sales and management side in the early 2000s. Thankfully, he gave me that opportunity, and I progressed more on the sales front, working with companies versus the job seeker. And that, again, met my background of competitive environment, working with people, engagement, solving business challenges. And let's be honest, Ranjay, companies don't succeed without talent. And understanding the talent market and allowing companies to position themselves to win the war for talent has been a passion of mine for the last 20 years.
Oh, wow. Awesome. I mean, just out of my curiosity, Chris, was it 20 years back that you joined Akara?
I joined in 1996, so I've been here a little over 24 years. I spent the first 4 to 5 years in recruiting, and the last, roughly 20 years in the sales and management side.
Okay, and I can't resist asking you this question, but 24 years of illustrious career, did you ever think that you would be on my show today?
No,
Just kidding.
no, but I'm very thankful that I am on your show.
Now, my next segment is what I like to call the three questions to Chris Beckage.
Sure.
Now, my first question to Chris Beckage is, what do you wish you had known when you started out?
That's a great question, and I've thought about that over the last 20 years. And one of the things I learned in my executive MBA program a few years ago was the value of emotional intelligence and self-awareness. And those terms weren't really around in those terms in the 90s, but learning who you are, how you address the different situations from stressful to joyous ones, and then quickly being able to understand who others are has been a game changer for me. And the reality is a lot of sales professionals are, this is the way I am and you have to adapt to me. And in our business, we really have to adapt to our customer, which could be a job seeker, it could be a business, it's many different people. And we have to adjust our communication and personality to fit that culture. And I kind of wish, I tell my children this every day, the value of learning who you are and who others are and embracing who they are is invaluable. And learning from different ethnic groups, different cultures is very valuable to your overall well-being. And it really helps you communicate and lead a team that everyone should know.
Great answer, Chris. Great answer. Are there any resources? Question number 2, Chris. Are there any resources that have really helped you on your journey?
Well, I think it's kind of what I just implied. Going back and getting my MBA was a big moment for me, for not only learning the financial side, but the emotional awareness, emotional intelligence, and self-awareness. That really helped me change from leading a small team to a large team and getting people to follow the plan without having me be involved day to day with every single person. That was a core thing. But over the 20 years, I've taken various sales leadership courses, communication courses, writing courses, and my recommendation that's a continuous process. And as we get more generations in the workforce, you have to be able to adapt your written and oral communication to each person you're working with.
Right, great answer. And Chris, my third and the last question of the segment would be, what are the biggest challenge? And before I say that, we cannot avoid what you and I are facing right now. And let's address the elephant in the room. Mm-hmm. What are the biggest challenges that employers are facing as of today?
Well, I think everyone, besides the COVID issues, that's something I think it's being prepared for the unexpected. We lived in a world where routine and process were driven every day, and you can kind of predict what was going to happen. So if the last 8 months have really taught us is those plans you have to be able to pivot every day. And that's what I think most companies and businesses are trying to do each and every day, from being shut down to reopening, to employees having concerns about being in the workforce, to being remote, having the technology to do so. And then what does the future look like? So I think if we went back a year ago and asked, what does 2021 look like? We'd have very different answers today. Some people view these as negatives, which I can understand, but it's more opportunity. And you can see that there's many companies that are flourishing because they have pivoted and adapted to the new world, and others have struggled. And that's where we try to come in and help companies from the talent side of what does job seekers look for? What is that engagement? What is the experience that they have? And focus on both sides. It's managing expectations every day and understanding that employer brand is very important today.
So are you saying that flexibility and adaptation are the 2 key words?
Well, I think flexibility, adaptation, and agility are the 3 words I would use that companies have to embrace today. You have to be able to do all 3. With a lot of workers being forced to work from home for various reasons, it can be healthcare, it can be schooling for their children. We have to expect the unexpected and be able to adapt to that. We're doing virtual calls more. There might be a child running in the background, and that's okay. And we have to get people to focus on getting their job done at the hours that they can, but also meeting the expectations of the employer.
Sorry, great answer, Chris there. Now, I'm into my final segment. And this is the segment that I personally like a little more, where I can put you on the spotlight. And this is the rapid fire. Now,
Sure.
Chris, I don't have a gift hamper to give you if you crack all the questions. And there's
Okay.
no right or wrong answer, but just to be authentic here, do not take more than 3-4 seconds, whatever that comes to your mind. All right.
Okay. Fire away.
All right. So bring your A game, Chris. My first question to you is, if a movie was made of your life, what kind of movie would it be and who would play you?
Well, I think it'd be a comedy with some drama in there here and there, but just based on life factors. But one of the things I like to do is bring humor to the room, as I think from my interactions with folks, and engage people that way. Who would play me? That's a tough question. You need someone that's tall with not a lot of hair. That would be who I would. I don't have anyone that comes to mind.
How about Vin Diesel?
Well, he's a little bit shorter than me and a little bit more built than I. Maybe Dwight from The Office.
Oh, okay. What's your rule number one, Chris?
What's my rule number one? Be honest.
Okay. That's a very honest answer, Chris. Okay, and this is an interesting question. If you were a hashtag, what would it be?
That's a tough question. I think it's about hashtag managing expectations.
Managing expectation. Interesting. If you could trade your life, with anyone for a day, who would it be and why?
Oh, gee, that's a tough question. I would like to say whoever's president of the U.S., whether it's Donald Trump or Biden, just to understand the pressures of the job, the bureaucracy, the political nature. I'm assuming it's a lonely job too, but I'd like to have a one day in those shoes just to appreciate that a little bit more and have a little bit more understanding of the role.
Well, and I think that's a perfect job where you can use your hashtag, managing expectation, every moment there.
True.
Right. Well, Chris, with that, I'm done with my questions. I hope you had fun, and I'm sure my team, people who are watching you, they will get inspired. Now, if you have just one piece of advice for people across the globe who are watching you, what would that advice be?
Well, I think my advice is more simple than that, and I think I've shared with you this in the past too, is savor the moments. I think the reality is you never know where life's going to take you, and celebrate the wins, whether it's on the business side, the professional side, or the moment your child walks for the first time or hits their first home run or whatever it may be. Just enjoy those moments. I think it was, as I reflect back, there's moments where I was there, but didn't truly enjoy that moment like I wish I would have, and that's my commitment moving forward.
With such a positive note, Chris, I really want to thank you for being to take part in my show, and I'm sure I'm going to meet you very soon in real world, other than the virtual world.
Absolutely. You're welcome, Ranjay.
Thank you so much.
Great opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a great rest of the day, Chris. That was Christopher Beckage, a great colleague and someone that I look up to meet yet another interesting guest and try to understand their viewpoints and learn from their experience. Let's meet again next Wednesday at 1 p.m. on this show, Midday with Ranjay. Have a blessed afternoon, and remember, stay safe, stay smart. Bye-bye.